Hey guys, Stealth here, welcome back to the Dyson Sphere program. A lot has happened since the last time I showed you my factory, and we are currently working a long way into the tech tree. I'm currently upgrading a lot of the parts of my mech, the Icarus, and as you can see I already have most of the parts here unlocked in the top of the tree, but the bottom of the tree not so much. Some of these are going to require the structure matrix, which is another scientific thing that I need to build, and that's not yet been completed. More importantly, in the technologies, we have a lot of stuff unlocked, including the solar orbit system. Sorry, the solar sail orbit system. This is, as far as I understand it, the first part that you actually need to start building stuff for the Dyson Sphere, the EM-Rail Ejector. Launch a large amount of solar sails into orbit of the Dyson swarm to form a Dyson swarm. So that's what we're going to be building, and it's going to require steel, gears, processors, and what's the right term for it again? The super magnetic field generator, aka the super magnetic ring. This is going to be another thing that's going to require a previous production chain, because it's also going to require these, the electromagnetic turbines. Electromagnetic turbines require the electromagnetic drive, which require the well, everything basically. I'm going to require magnets, iron plates, iron ingots, and copper ingots. Combine that into this. The next phase is going to be combining that and more of those magnet coils into the electromagnetic drive. Then combining those parts and graphite into the supermagnetic ring. Once I have those, I'm going to be able to build the, here we go, the EM-Rail Ejector and also the solar sails. Well, not quite. Solar sails are going to require yet another two parts that I still haven't produced. So for now I'm going to be trying to focus on building the EM-Rail Ejector, and I just want to have a few production facilities up. I already have them for steel, gears are easy, and processors are already done. I just need to get that lower production chain, let's say the whole thing, ranging from the electromagnetic drive through the magnetic levitation tech to the super magnetic field generator. So the first objective, build this. For that I'm going to need a lot of space, and I think that the other side of the planet, where I currently have, as you can see, a whole lot of windmills and a whole lot of refineries, this could be an interesting position to set that up. Somewhere, let's say somewhere down here, so that I still have enough room to put the rest of the facilities down. I'm going to open up the production line here. We're going to need a few of these things. 5 of them should do. I still have plenty of conveyor belts, although I might not have enough of them at the moment. I also have a foundation production capability, so that I can fill up water. So over here, I don't want this, I just want to have solid ground. And I can do that. The thing is, it's taking quite a lot of resources. Fortunately, not that much of a problem. But nevertheless, they do go a lot faster than you would expect. So let's pick up some more of those. Another 2000. Energy circuit level 2, 200 kilowatt mecha fueled power. My field chamber's pretty happy, as I can use some of the hydrogen that I picked up as I was prepping my base for something different, and I can use these towers over here to help me charge. Power supply is good. I produce 56 megawatts, and I only use about half of it. It does go up and down every once in a while, depending of course exactly on how much I'm using. Now I'm going to clear out some space, and then we're going to set up the building process. Alright, I think I have most of the resources that I need. I might find that some of them are not quite up to the level that I need them yet, like the amount, but let's get started. I'm gonna break up my iron chain, or my iron ingot production here. I'm gonna loop it around here and over the belts. And then it's gonna go to here, and we're gonna bring it down back here. So that's one. I'm also gonna do that for the magnets, because I'll also require those. Definitely important when you're trying to build electromagnetic coils. So again, we go over. No, not like that. We go up. starting here. And we go back down. And I'm going to do the same thing for the copper here. So break it up, set this thing in, connect it back up. And the copper doesn't need to go over anything, it just can go right ahead. Right, starting with the first part of the tree. That is going to be the electromagnetic drive, requiring me to make gears and those magnets, those coils. So, that's going to require a bit of iron production. Let's set these things up here. I'm just going to have these things continue. And actually, I'm going to relocate them slightly, because they're not in an ideal spot here. Ideally, I have 4 blocks between them, because by doing that, it's a bit easier to have one of those sorters set up in the middle. So let's bring this thing over here. There we go. Right, I am going to need a production capability for gears. Considering I'm going to need quite a lot of those, I'm going to go with 2, at least initially. And these things set up 2 gears using the... I don't even know how to put that. They're not chevron. Well, they might be chevrons. The chevrons left and right, those are the ones that you require to copy and paste what you want. In case you're hearing some noise in the background, that's Quinn, my kid, who is currently enjoying his time in his little playpen. Now, here we go. We have the stuff that we need. Unfortunately, we're not getting any power to it. There we go. That's the gears. Just make sure they have an input here and here. And I'm going to require probably a lot more of those things. Alright, that's the first phase of the operation. Because we also need the magnets, these things. So that is copper and magnet rings. Or, well, magnets, rather. That is going to come up over on the next part here. Let's say I want those over here. I can temporarily loop these things together. Well, not exactly together, but just parallel. Like that. And then I can have this thing continue. Now, the farther away from the equator you go, the more of a challenge this becomes. Because the game is definitely working with the curvature of the Earth. Or, well, whatever planet we happen to be on. And sometimes you can get some really curious designs, shall we say. The conveyor belts start to work with the curvature. And it leads to some somewhat unpredictable effects. So I prefer building not too far away from the equator. Alright, that's my coils. Then, the last thing I need is very straightforward, in the form of a bit of iron. That I have. So I need to combine these 3 into another couple of production capabilities, or production facilities here, replicators. And I have these things over here. I'm going to use some more of the foundation to fill this whole part up. And this is going to be a little trickier. Because for this, I'll need 3 inputs. Now, it can be done. It's just not an ideal way of doing it, generally. How did I do this last time? This is the gears. We're going to set the gears up like that. And then have one part of that go up. No, that doesn't quite work. I did this before as I was experimenting with it, and it can be done. Oh, of course, they have multiple entry points. Dumb. It's not like you have to use one side specifically. I can just use various sides. So that's going to be the gears. Enter here, enter there. I can also then add the second requirement, which is the iron ore. It's the electric motor. So for that, we're going to set another splitter here. This thing is going to go over. Oh, that was a bit too long. I should be getting back down to base level here. Or actually, do I need to? Can I not just build them from here to there? No, the angle's too high. That's unfortunate. So I'm gonna have to go down here. Alright, we'll just do it like that then. So, set this thing up. One longer. Combine that to there. Give the whole thing some power. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3 requirements. The third is the magnetic coil. We have them over here. I just need to have an exit strategy, if you will, so that I can also get the final products out. Now, considering I'm going to need this resource again, I'm probably going to have to pull a bit of a trick here.
You have unlocked the vertical construction technology. When building facilities such as Matrix Lab, storage, and storage tank, you can try to build them vertically to make more efficiency use of space.
It's too far away, or, well, actually too close. So, here to here. Alternatively, let's say that this is the output belt. I'm going to say this one goes here and goes there. And this is the iron that comes over it and jumps back down. That one's that. And here is my copper. So that's still mostly the main boss. Now I just need to give these things an input. And there we go. We have our electric motor. The next tier is going to be the electromagnetic turbine, which is actually fairly easy to produce, because I have most of the base ingredients. I have... Yes, Quinn, I know. It's not that hard, don't worry. I have the magnetic coils here. I have the motors being outputted here. I just need to tandem those together and put them into one new production line. So, we're going to add 2 more here. Quinn, it's really not that difficult. I'm not sure if you guys can even hear him. To make things a bit easier for me, I'm going to set this thing up like this. So I'm gonna have to tend to that. Right, one kid pacified and now calmly watching me from his own little chair. As I was saying, I'm going to combine these two, and that makes it a lot easier to feed these things. Because otherwise I'd have to pull all sorts of shenanigans just to complete the design of this part. So now we're going to need a few more inputs and outputs as well. So tend to produce a few more. Input. Actually, we're going to do that one different. You're going to take that slot, you're going to take that slot. And now we can use another conveyor belt here. And we have the output. This is pretty straightforward. This one was not too difficult. There are probably a lot more complex production lines coming up. Just ensure that the whole thing has some power. And I am running low on iron ingots. Gotta absorb a few of those in the conveyor belt here. Otherwise there's no constructing anything. In the meanwhile, I'm researching more and more stuff. Unfortunately, this game is really, well, it's quite forgiving when it comes to research. Because it's very comfortable in how many research projects require the same research. Or the same 2 blocks that you need to build. Anyway, we now have our newly found electromagnetic turbine. The next phase of the operation, down here, the super magnetic field generator. It's going to require those, it's going to require magnets and graphite. Yes. I happen to have some stone over there. I suppose I could pull that stone all the way back here. Make graphite from that. And then use the magnets, these ones, and build those things together. So we're going to set up a couple of these things. Let's go with 2 of those. I'll need 2 smelters. That's 5 smelters. 2 smelters is plenty. They have power because they're relatively close to the wind turbines here. So we're going to set these things up. Oh, actually, hold on. No, that's not stone. It's supposed to be coal. Fortunately, we also have coal here. So this one here and that one there. Let's use one of the better coils to bring it all the way over here. That one already has power. Excellent. This thing goes here. Then add 2 smelters. Add the inserters here. Oh, that's output. Input. Input. And you're going to be building me this stuff. Energetic graphite. So build and copy. Set up a power station here. And another one there. And now they're producing it. Excellent. Now oh crap, I kind of messed up the production line here. Because there was no room for the conveyor belt. There. Right, let's close up this part of the water. Because I will need more production space here. Bring over the conveyor belts. Now, thanks to a bunch of upgrades, building this stuff actually goes really quickly. Because I have quite a lot of upgrades for my constructor bots. Just fill up the ground here. Or fill up the water, technically. And our production station's over there. So it needs to go almost straight up. That way. As you can see over here, it looks like I'm building straight, but I'm actually, well, actually in reverse. It doesn't look like I'm building straight here, because I am more or less at the equator, I guess? Yeah, this is the equator, just south of it. And that's causing this, well, this weird cinematic effect that looks like I'm not actually drawing it straight, but I am. Now, this is where the motors come out. The electromagnetic thingies. So we're going to have one there. 2 production things. I'm going to bring my magnets, which were coming to a stop here, to continue. And considering that these 2 are very, very close, I'm probably going to have to pull something like... Oh, hold on. Some of these are not like the others. What are you doing in there? Somehow my production line got a bit polluted with, I think, copper. I don't exactly know why, but that somehow managed to sneak in there. Anyway, I need to set up the magnet line here. And as I was about to say, I can bring these over to here to here, and then we're going to go down again. I intentionally spaced quite a lot of these things out so that if I require, I can still set up more production. I'm not sure how much I need exactly. I am sure there is a beautiful way to find out. Just do all the math. But for me, it's a game. I'm not trying to min-max everything here. Much to the chagrin of some people, maybe, but I'm sure there are other channels which are far better at this sort of stuff than I am. Nor do I care much. Now, let's set this thing up here. So now we have 2 out of 3. The last thing that we need is the graphite. The energetic graphite. So we're going to bring that up over on the side, probably. Output goes there, input goes here. So this is the graphite line from here to here. Make sure we have some inputs. 1, 2. Still working on the conveyor belt here. Hold on, did I miss a part? Because I'm not seeing any graphite being delivered onto it. Yeah, that's because I didn't put any outputs here. That would do it. Let's build a few more of these. There's the graphite. Now, this would allow me to then build the next phase of the operation, the EM-Rail Ejector. I just need to go and grab a couple of processors, which are produced somewhere on the entirely different side of the compound. All the way, I think, on the, well, at least more to the west. I'm not sure if this is the Western Hemisphere or not, or if you can even call it something like that. Yeah, here are my processors. I already have quite a lot of them. And they are... oh, they're not being produced. Really? How is that? Because you're not getting the resources that you need. I can toss in a few. But apparently what I'm not... yes, Quinn, I know I'm not producing something fast enough. That's these things. What? Lack of material? Really? Oh, it's the high purity silicon that I'm not producing fast enough. Right. Stone gets turned into silicon here. And the silicon then gets turned into these components. These are microcrystalline components. But because building the high-end crystalline or high purity silicon is not going very quickly, it's slowing down the production of the other facilities as well. Nevertheless, I should now, with the processors and the other parts, which are getting produced over there, have the capability to build this new part, the EM-Rail Ejector. Lower down. That's graphite. Conveyor belt. Oh, we need outputs. Out and out. You're not getting any magnets. Ah! That's not getting power. There we go. Now, this is only really half of what I need. Because, as the tech tree is going to show you, if you want to start setting up the actual Dyson sphere, or the Dyson swarm, you need solar sails. Which get built by, I think that's graphene and photon something. Let's see what that is. That is, I think, these things. Photon combiner. Which is going to require me to build prisms and circuit boards. Yeah, Quinn, I know, that's a whole different production line. And graphene, which is going to require energetic graphite and purified oil? No, sulfuric acid. Okay, so that's a whole new production line. Once we have all of that stuff combined, then I can build a solar sail. And these solar sails use the EM-Rail Ejector to launch a large number of solar sails to form the Dyson swarm, which can more effectively obtain the radiant energy of stars. Now over here we have this button. Turn on the Dyson Sphere editor and make a build plan. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I don't know if there is a tutorial for this, but so far I haven't seen it. Apparently we have an orbit here. Orbit 1. And I can see the layers of orbit 1. So if I'm understanding this correctly, this is going to be the Dyson sphere. That's our star, and this is the Dyson sphere. Now it says I can make a build plan here. And I can do that with nodes, frames, and shells. And how exactly that works is beyond me. I still have to look into that, but I'll do that off screen. At least I can set these things up, I guess. Latitude too high. Upgrade stress system. Okay. So maybe we're first going to build what's just going to be a big ring around it. And then fill that up with solar sails, I guess? I don't know if those things decay, but I thought they had a lifetime of 1800 seconds. Because at some point I came across those in the tech tree. And it said that I can... yeah, upgrade stress system. It said that I can upgrade those. Upgrades? Where was that? Solar sail life. Plus 150 seconds. Yeah, I know. 150 seconds does not seem like a lot. Requires the structure matrix. One of the 5 resources. And then solar sail life again and again. Apparently we're going to need more and more and more and more of these things. So I might need a large production capability when it comes to solar sails. And then just how quickly or how slowly those things can be launched. Quinn, calm down. I don't know how fast or how slow those things can be launched. So let's just build one of them manually here. Oh, I need gears. which I am producing here. I'm just going to borrow a bunch. Is that enough? Yeah, now I can build one. Done in 2 seconds. Alright. Put that... Whoa, that's a sizable object.
An EM-Rail Ejector. You have taken the first step to build the Dyson sphere. Now you can use it to send solar sails into space for the Dyson swarm. Each EM-Rail Ejector requires to set up orbit and supply with solar sails. Also, you can use copy and paste to set orbits. If you want a Dyson swarm orbit become more diversified, you can click the Dyson sphere button in the lower left corner of the screen to open the Dyson sphere panel. Make your customization however you want.
So, I can eject these things at 20 per minute. And I can set this thing up to orbit 1, which is going to set it to a specific angle. And it builds the Dyson swarm. Receive energy collected by the Dyson sphere by a ray receiver, which I believe is somewhere also here in the tech tree. There it is. This is going to allow me to receive energy. So hopefully you'll never really be out of energy once you have one of these things. So what I'm going to be doing off screen is building the solar sail component, and then hopefully in the next episode we're going to be launching some... Quinn is very bored with this shit. I'm sorry about the noises in the background. Once we have the solar sail production, we're going to be building the Dyson swarm. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for the next part.